Hello everyone. In today's session, we are going to discuss the revision on the straight line equations. And with me here, I have some examples that we are going to handle. So the question reads, two straight lines are perpendicular to each other at a point M. One of the line passes through 2 and 6, and the equation of the other line is 2y plus 3x minus 5 is equals to 0. Calculate the equation of the line. So this is how you can do that question when you find such a question. The first thing, maybe I can maybe sketch this point. I can maybe sketch those points. Maybe it will be this point, and maybe here I have maybe point, maybe M, and here maybe I have the other point, which is 2 and 6. 2 and 6. So then we are taught to calculate the equation of these two lines, and then we have other line that is passing through here. That is the line that is passing there, which is which add the equation of that. So the first thing to do is to put this equation in form of y is equals to mx then plus c, and in this case my equation will be 2y then plus 3x is equals to 5, and in this case I'll have this one being 2y is equals to negative 3x then plus 5, and then I can divide this side by 2 and also this side by 2 and also this side by 2. So I'll have my equation being y is equals to negative 3 all over 2 x then plus 5 all over 2. And then for the perpendicular line, we know that if we take the first gradient, which is m1, then we multiply it by m2 gradient of the line, the second line, we are supposed to get negative 1. And in this case, when I have the equation as y is equals to mx then plus c, this is the gradient and this is the y-intercept. So in this case, c is the y-intercept. So in this case, I'll have the second line being, if I take these now, my gradient 1 is negative 3 out of 2, then multiply by m2. This one should give me a negative 1. So simply now my gradient 2 will be equivalent to 2 out of 3. It's just like the reciprocal of the first gradient, and then with no negative or changing the sign of it. So now to get the equation of the second line that is passing through point 2 and 6, I can have that point which is 2 and 6, and then I take another unknown which is x and y, and this one should give me a gradient of m2 which is equals to 2 out of 3. So, and I know to calculate this gradient, it is change in y, which is y minus 6 divided by x minus 2, and this one is equals to 2 out of 3. Then I can cross multiply, so that I have 3y minus 18 is equals to 2x then minus 4. So this one is the same as 3y. This one is the same as 3y is equals to 2x, and then if you take 18 on the other side, it becomes a plus minus 4, that is plus 14. Then I can divide all this so that I can have my last y is equals to 2 out of 3 x, and then plus 14 and divide by 3. You can change that to a mixed fraction. So that is how you can calculate such an equation. Now our second equation is find the equation of a perpendicular bisector of a perpendicular bisector. So the equation of the perpendicular bisector here, I can define that. So the perpendicular bisector, we know that if, for example, we have this line being A and this one being B, perpendicular bisector will pass at the middle there. That is where we shall have the bisector there. And for us to get that, we need first of all to get this equation of the first line, which is AB. So, and for us to get that, we need to get the gradient first. We know that the gradient will be given by change in y all over change in x. So in this case, we're going to have maybe 9 minus 5 divided by 3 minus 7, which is equals to 4 divided by negative 4, which is equals to negative 1, which is equals to negative 1, which is equals to negative 1. So in this case, for us to get that, we need to get this midpoint here. We need to get that midpoint there, and we know for the midpoint, we can say that the midpoint, we know that x1 plus x2 divided by 2 will give our new x1, and then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So in this case, if you take 3 added to 7, you get 10 divided by 2. So our new point will be 5, and then you take 9 plus 5, that is 14. Then you get the midpoint is 7. So in this case, now to get the equation of that, we know the first gradient was that, so we know that m1 multiplied by m2 is equals to negative 1, and our first equation we have seen as negative 1, so this one is negative 1, m2 is equals to negative 1, so our gradient 2 is equals to 1. Our gradient 2 is equals to 1. So in this case, we can just say that our change in y, which is y minus 7 divided by x minus 5 is equals to 1, So in this case, you can just cross multiply these and have y minus 7 is equals to x minus 5, and in this case we can be left with maybe in that form, which is x minus y then plus 2 is equals to 0, because if you take, suppose, a negative 7 on the other side, it becomes a positive. So we shall have negative 5 then plus 7, which gives us a 2 positive. So that is how you can get the equation of a perpendicular bisector. Remember, bisector cuts the line twice. You can go to the next question. In this question, we are told that L is perpendicular to 2x and passes through that point, and then we are told to determine the equation of that line. So the first of all, we can put our equation in form of maybe y is equals to mx then plus, you see, so in this case we shall have our y is equivalent to negative 2x and then plus 3, negative 2x plus 3. So we shall have the gradient of the second line will be negative 2, maybe m2 is equals to negative 1. So our gradient 2 will be equivalent to half. So now we can get this equation of the second line by taking that point, which is 4 and negative 1, and then another one which is unknown, x and y. So in this case we shall have this one being y, then minus 1, which becomes a positive 1, divided by x minus 4, which is equals to half, so we can just cross multiply them, and then you'll get this one being 2, then y plus 1 is equals to 1, then x minus 4. So in this case we will have this one being 2y then plus 2 is equals to 2y plus 2 is equals to x minus 4, and then this one is 2y, this one is 2y is equals to x minus 6. Then we can divide all through by 2, so we are going to be left with y is equals to half x then minus 3. So that is the equation of our second line. And then in the part B we are told to get the acute angle that a line L makes with the x-axis. So if you have this is, for example, if we have a diagram, a Cartesian plane like this is the angle that we are told to get that it makes with the x-axis. And you know that this angle, you can get this angle by saying the tan theta is equals to maybe change in y divided by change in x. And we know that change in y divided by change in x is the same as the gradient of the line. So meaning that this angle, which is maybe the tan theta, is the same as the gradient that we have gotten here, which is half. And then we can get the tan inverse of our half. This one will give us our theta, and then this angle will be equivalent to 45 degrees. That's how you can get that gradient, that angle between the two axes. So that is that question. We can proceed to the next question. So in this line we are told the line passes through the point -3 and 6, and the equation, or find the equation of line 2 that is perpendicular bisector. So we need to first of all to get the gradient of the first line, which we know that our m1 will be equivalent to -8, then minus 2, then all these we divide by 6 minus 2, and in this case this gives me a gradient of maybe a -6 divided by 9, which is equivalent to maybe -2 out of 3. So my second gradient, which is m2, will be equivalent to 3 divided by 2. Remember, m1 multiplied by m2, this one is equals to -1, So in that case now I can come and find the equation that is perpendicular bisector. And for that, perpendicular bisector means it is cutting this line at the middle here. So I need the midpoint. So midpoint will be given by, I take the first value of x and then add it and then divide by 2. So in this case I'll have -3 plus 6 divided by 2, and then -8 then plus 2 divided by 2, and in this case I'll have this one being 3 out of 2, and then I have -3, and then in this case now I can be able to get this gradient by saying that this gradient will be y then minus 3 divided by maybe I have x minus 3 out of 2 is equals to 3 out of 2 is equals to 3 out of 2. So in this case, this is the same as maybe y plus y is the same as, maybe we can have this is the same as what we can cross multiply the two, that is 2 then plus 3 there is equals to maybe 3 out of 2 x then minus 9 out of 4. So in this case, this one is a 2y then plus 2y then plus here we have 6 is equals to 3 out of 2 x then minus 9 out of 4. So we can multiply through it with our LCM that we have there. So we shall have this one, we can multiply by 4, so we shall have 8y then plus 24 is equals to 6x then minus 9. Then to leave our equation in that form, I can have this being 6x minus 8y minus 8y is equals to negative 24 then minus 9, and in this case I'll have 6x minus 8y is equals to negative 24, that is negative 33. So that is how you can get such an equation of that train. So we proceed to the next question. In the next question, we are told to calculate the equation of a perpendicular bisector which passes through that and that. So perpendicular bisector, the first thing that we are going to do is we can put this our equation in form of y is equals to mx plus c. So here we are going to have this one being 2y is equals to minus 3x then plus 4. And then we can divide all through, so we are going to be left with y is equals to negative 3 out of 2 then plus 2. That's our equation, and then we can know that this one negative 3 out of 2 m2 will be equivalent to negative 1. So our m2, if we make m2 the subject of the formula, is 2 out of 3. So now we need to get the perpendicular and bisector of this line, the midpoint. So the perpendicular bisector of this point, which is here we have 6 and 4, and here we have 2 and 0. So we take 6 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 8. Then here we are going to have 4, and then 4 plus 0 divided by 2, here we are going to have 2. So this is our new point that we are going to use. So now we know now to get this equation, we are going to say y minus 2 divided by x minus 4. This one is equals to 2 out of 3. Then we can cross multiply so that we have 3. Then y minus 2 then is equals to 2. Then we have x minus 4. Yep. Then this one is the same as 3. Y minus 6 is equals to 2x then minus 8. So in this case, if we make this the subject of the formula, we are going to have 3y we give the equation in form of that 3y minus 2x is equals to minus 2 is equals to minus 2 if we leave our answer in the form that we are given. So that is how you can get such equation. Maybe when we are told to get the gradient of the line passing through that point. Then the next question here that we are told that the point A and B lies on a straight line AB. Find the equation of, maybe we find the equation of line AB. So for us, we need to get first of all the gradient, which is m1, and we know this one is given by changing y divided by changing x. So in this case, we are going to have the gradient being negative 6 minus 5 divided by 3, then minus 2, and this one will give us the gradient as negative 11 out of 5, negative 11 out of 5. So now the equation of a line perpendicular to AB and passes through that point will be given by, we can say, the gradient of m2. This one will be the reciprocal of that, and then of course we do away the negative, so it will be 5 out of 11. So now we can get the equation. So we are told, and remember the equation leads that the point, it's negative 2, 5, and B lies on a straight line AB. Find the equation of a line perpendicular to AB and passes through that, So we are going to have this being y minus 5 divided by x minus 2. This one should give us 5 out of 11. So we can cross multiply that. Of course, we have 11. Then here we are going to have y minus 5. Then this one is given by 5. Then here we have x minus 2. So in this case, here we are going to have 11y minus 55. This one is equals to 5x minus 10. So in this case here, we are going to have this one being 11y is equals to 5x. Then of course this one, when you take this on the other side, if we take that on the other side of our equal sign, and remember this one was a negative, so please, this one is a plus, and this one is a plus, and this one is a plus. So if you take this one on the other side, it will be plus 10, then plus 55. So we are going to have 11y is equals to 5x, then plus 65. Then we can divide by 11 so our equation becomes y is equals to 5 out of 11x, then plus 65 divided by 11. And it is always good to leave that your answer into a mixed fraction or a decimal, not to leave it into the form of improper fraction. So the next question is the equation of a line parallel to AB and passes through that point. We know now the difference between a parallel and a perpendicular. We know for the perpendicular line, if we take gradient 1 multiplied by gradient 2, this one is going to give us a negative 1. But for the parallel line, we know that gradient 1 is the same as the gradient 2. They are the same. So in this case, we are going to the equation of the line AB and passes through the point that. so the gradient of the two lines will be the same. So we are going to have this one is y minus 1 divided by x minus 3 should give us the gradient that is the same as negative 11 divided by 5. Negative 11 and divided by 5. Then from there we can cross multiply, so that we have this one being 5 then multiplied by y, then plus 1. Remember, minus and a minus will always result that. Then we have negative 11, then we have x minus 3. So in this case here we are going to have this one being 5y then plus 5 is equals to maybe negative 11x here, then plus that 3 because of negative 11, of course. Then we can put the equation in that form. So we are going to have 5y is equals to negative 11x. Then if we take this one on the other side, it becomes minus, so it will be minus 28. Then we can divide by 5 throughout, and by 5. So our y is equivalent to negative 11 out of 5x, and then minus 28 divided by 5. And of course it is good you leave that answer in form of either and division or something to do with that. Then we can calculate the point BC, translate that into that, and then we calculate it on the other side. So in this case, part B, the point B is that, so what we know that is if we take, we know that if you take image object, if you take the object that is A added to its translation, will always give us the image of that. So in this case here we have negative 2 and then 5, then we add 2 and negative 1. This one will give us our translation for this, which is the same as negative 2 plus that is 0, and then this one is 4. So remember, this is the coordinate of A prime, and then the other one is B prime, which will be B plus the translation, which will give us the B prime. And in this case here I'm going to have this one 3, negative 6, and then I have plus 2, negative 1, and this one will give me a 5, and then negative 7. So then the next we are told to get the what? We are going to get the gradient of the two. So we know that our gradient will be given by this, which is equals to 5 maybe minus 0 divided by maybe the other one will be 7 will be 5 minus that, and then we have negative 7 then minus 4, and this one gives us 5 out of negative 11, 5 out of negative 11. And then from there we can take one of the points, which is 4, and have y minus 0 divided by x minus 4 is equals to negative maybe 5 out of 11. So in this case we are going to have 11y is equals to negative 5x, and then this one is plus 20, and then we can divide by 11 by 11. So we have y is equals to negative 5x and divided by 11, and then plus maybe 20 out of 11, although it is good to convert that into a mixed fraction. So then we go to the next question. In the next question, we know that the gradient of a straight line passing through point that and that is perpendicular and passes through that point. So in this case, we know that we are told that the equation of this is perpendicular to this. So for us to be able to get this first gradient, we know it is change in y all over change in x. So if we take 4 then minus b divided by 3 minus a, this one should give us negative 3 out of 2. If we cross multiply, this one is 2 multiplied by 4 minus b is the same as negative 3. Then we have 3 minus a. 3 minus a. So if we open this bracket here, we are supposed to get 8 minus 2b is equals to negative 9 is equals to negative 9 then plus 3a. So this is the same as now we can correct and put the right terms together. This one is the same as 17 is equals to we can have that being maybe 17 is equals to 2b plus 3a. So that is equation 1. And then the other thing that we know is that our m2, the gradient of the perpendicular line, will be the reciprocal of the first gradient, then do away with the negative, so it is 2 out of 3. That is 2 out of 3. Then we know now, because point Q is being shared, we know that to get the gradient of the second line, we need to say that negative is the same as negative 1 minus b minus b divided by 2 minus a. This one is equals to the gradient, which is 2 out of 3. Then I can cross multiply this, and then if I cross multiply these, I'm going to have this one being negative 3 then minus 3b is equals to 4, then minus 2a. So in this case, our gradient becomes maybe negative 3b then plus 2a is equals to positive 7. So now I have the two equations. So I can have the first equation, which was maybe 2a then plus 3a, and this one was equivalent to 17. And then the second one is negative 3b then plus 2a is equals to 7. I can eliminate a, so I multiply here by 3 and here I multiply by 2. So in this case, this will be equivalent to 4a then plus 6a then is equals to 34. And the second one will be equivalent to negative 9a then plus 6a, and then this one is equals to 21. So if I subtract, I will have 4 minus 9, which is equivalent to 13a. 30a is equals to 13, and a here is equals to 1. So I can take the first equation, which is 2, then I substitute a with 1, then I add plus maybe 3, sorry, this was b, so it is 2b. So in this case here will be 2a. So this was b, not a. So this is b, which is 1. So I'll have 2, then multiply by 1, then plus 3a is equals to 17. And then in this case, my 3a is equals to 15. And then my a is equals to 5. So my point Q will be equivalent to 5 and then 1. So that is how you can get that point. And then we can go to the next question.